We now welcome in Chris Lopresti and Jon Alba for more on the Mets. Francisco Alvarez with the big hit on Monday and now the two-run blast on Tuesday to spark the Mets. Jon, what's been the biggest difference in your eyes in the two games since Alvarez's return from the minors?
Letting him swing. I know this isn't the Gen Z report, but as the kids would say, let him cook, because that's all you have to do with your approach with Francisco Alvarez. This is not going to be someone who's going to hit 300. He's not going to be someone who hits for contact. There are some players in baseball, you just have to embrace who they are, let them take the big hack like you see right there, and let them do their damage. I think if the Mets embrace that approach with Francisco Alvarez, and you can have him ignite a little fire in that bottom half of the lineup, Eamon, it can really change the dynamic that you have going, and it can also jumpstart what is at the top of the lineup, especially if Francisco Lindor is still struggling. I like the confidence in just letting him go out there and do his thing.
And confidence is key. I mean, because before he was sent down, I saw a version of Francisco Alvarez that looked like he had pretty much just been beaten down at that point from not having success at the plate, coming off another injury, was starting to trickle into the defense a little bit. So he used the time at Syracuse to AAA to get his confidence back to where it needed to be with the production that he had at the plate, hitting the ball out of the ballpark. So to come back and bring that confidence and enthusiasm, I think you're seeing that at play right now. Even the home run, it's a big hack, like Jon said, slightly off the end of the bat, and he still had enough power to get it out of there. Late in the game, there was a strikeout where maybe he swung a little bit out of his shoes, but you saw him on the way back to the dugout kind of tapping himself on the helmet. Also, almost a reminder of the things that he's been working on that had allowed him to have enough success to get back here and make a contribution right away. So we know the type of impact he can have when he's going right. He can be a difference maker. So this is the version of Alvarez that obviously the Mets were hoping for these last couple seasons, the beginning part of this year. And if they get it consistently, it's going to make a big difference.
And it goes without saying how important it was for him to have immediate success when he returned to the majors to validate all that work and the success he had down at Syracuse. All right, for most of the season, the bottom of the order was the weak link. We just detailed a few moments ago how impressive they've been in this three-game winning streak. So, Chris, how interesting is it that now this is the group that is providing most of the offense?
It comes at a good time because, I mean, you look at Francisco Lindor right now, I think it's an 0 for 30 stretch if you include a couple at bats in the All-Star game. Alonso's been a little quiet. So, you know, we've talked about the bottom of the order really needing to step it up. So with Alvarez's return, Beatty getting hot now, man, if they could ever get Mark Vientos going, not even like where he was last year, but some sort of average to middling version of Vientos, you know, that could be huge. So early in the season, it was the unexpected pitching performance that was carrying the Mets. Now you got the bottom of the lineup contributing. So, hey, it's time for the top of the order to get it going.
Yeah, and I'll just add this too, Chris. If the bottom of the order can get itself established, get its footing, establish some sort of degree of consistency, that could impact, for the better, the Mets' approach to the trade deadline as well. Maybe they don't feel like they have to overexert and get a middle-of-the-order bat that otherwise they would have had to prior to that. That could be significant for their approach as we get towards the end of July.
And we are getting there every day. All right, Frankie Montas wins his third straight start. He has a 3.86 ERA in those July outings. Chris, is he starting to exceed expectations?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, this is a guy that we saw a little bit of time with the Yankees where availability was an issue, effectiveness was an issue. So I really wasn't sure what to expect. I know the Mets have had a lot of success with sort of dusting off some of these projects and guys that have stepped in and contributed. You know, for him, the way he was pitching in his rehab outings didn't inspire a lot of confidence. So for him to come in here at the big league level and have enough success, he's giving them some length. In today's major leagues, anything between 5 and 6 innings for a middle to back end part of the rotation guy is significant. So right when they've needed an influx in the rotation, he's done a pretty good job.
The length is the biggest piece for them, especially with how much the Mets have had to rely on their bullpen. They've gotten the inconsistent outings out of them. Going into this season, there wasn't a lot that I saw diving deep into Frankie Montas that made me think that he was going to be anything resembling a contributor for this squad other than maybe a number 5 starter at the back end. So far, mixing the arsenal. Sweeper looked good. I'm taking it a game at a time, Eamon.
Aren't we all? Every day is a new day.